down.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another edition of Swoop podcast. It's your guest for tonight, Dante Fantuzzi, and I'm here with
Josh Sanchez.
And we got some good news for all of our viewers.
Great news.
We got 26 cents in revenue.
We got 26 cents in revenue. It's a start. Shout out, hard work. We're only going to get better.
So Josh, just out of curiosity, what are you going to do with your 13 cents of the profit?
I don't know. Maybe go to a dollar store, see what I can get. Like a small little bubblegum wrap. I don't know.
Bro, the bubblegum wrap is 35 cents.
Oh, dang it.
But no, we're here and we're back at it, our second podcast of the week. We have multiple topics that we want to talk about. We're going to bring back basketball for tonight. And our first topic is going to be Dirk Nowitzki and the 30,000 point mark that he set last night.
Huge shout out to him. 30,000 points. He's done something only 5 other players have done. And those 5 players are, historic. You got Kareem, Moses Malone, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and Wilt Chamberlain. In that order, too. So, yeah, I got it.
Okay, I see
Dirk,
you, Josh.
Dirk right
I see
now,
you.
6th right now in the all points list, which is very impressive because, his first year, rookie year, he only averaged like 8.5 points a game. But he had that shooting coach. I don't know his name exactly, but because of that guy, he was able to completely change around his game and came back his sophomore year, snapped, had about 18 points a game, like a 10-point increase from his rookie year. So what he's done is nothing but spectacular, and he is probably a top 5 power forward in the league. I've done research on it, and a lot
in the league or in NBA history,
like NBA history.
Okay,
that's what they're considering. They have Tim Duncan, number 1. Tim Duncan deserves to be number 1. Then they had Karl Malone, 2, and then Dirk Nowitzki right there with 3.
Okay.
So that's just a little bit of what I wanted to talk about Dirk. Yeah, big shout out to Dirk. Anything you want to say, Dante? Or
I just want to give him a huge shout out and congratulations. He definitely does deserve it. That's
pretty much it.
He's a heartbreaker. He's
Yeah,
definitely broken hearts over the year.
Yeah, and what he did in 2010 to the Miami Heat, nothing but spectacular. That one-legged fadeaway, man. That's his signature.
That's it. The same way Kobe hits that fadeaway jump shot.
Yeah,
that's him. Dirk is the one-legged fadeaway. It's just
the one-legged fadeaway, man.
It's just him. But we are gonna stick with basketball. Russell Westbrook dropped 58 points last night in a triple-double.
Oh, no, not triple-double.
It wasn't a triple-double?
Nah.
Oh, my apologies.
He had 9 assists and I think 6 rebounds.
Oh, okay.
He's been slacking with triple-doubles lately.
My apologies.
Yeah, it's hard to do.
It is hard. So, since he's done it so much over the course of the season, we just automatically assume that he's going to do it again and just expect it.
And OKC's in a little bit of a losing streak, too. They've now lost 4 straight.
That's what I wanted to ask you a question about.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Obviously, we do know that the Thunder are on a 4-game losing streak. Do you think that's because his numbers are going to, be the main factor for him to earn the MVP? Or just because his team is losing but he's still putting up these crazy numbers, is he worth the MVP title?
It's weird because in basketball, it's a lot different from baseball, where we see in 2012 when Miguel Cabrera had the Triple Crown, and I forget the Mike Trout. My fault. And Mike Trout, I believe, was really close to getting the 40-40 club that year. And everyone knew Mike Trout was a clear-cut favorite for the MVP. His team also made the playoffs, I believe, that year and lost in the first round. I don't know exactly, but everyone knew that Mike Trout deserved to win it, but they gave it to Miguel Cabrera because of his Triple Crown. Now, in basketball, and also in baseball, we see Bryce Harper. When Bryce Harper won the MVP, the Nationals didn't make the playoffs that year. They had a down year. They were about a 500 ball club. But with basketball, it's different. They value team success a lot more than they do in baseball. And what Russell Westbrook has done is something only one other person has done, and that's Oscar Robinson. Right now, he's averaging a triple-double. Hopefully, Russell Westbrook can get that triple-double.
Mm-hmm.
But Oscar Robinson didn't win it that year either. He did not win MVP that year either.
Okay. See, there, I understand you're trying to compare to both sports.
Yeah.
But I definitely do see that in both sports there's a big difference. As we can tell in baseball, there's 9 players on one field, and there's going to be 9 batters up to bat. So, but it's not like, you can depend on one player all season in baseball. You need your whole team to come together. But besides in basketball, I mean, I'm pretty sure we've seen it numerous times before. For instance, when LeBron James took the Cleveland Cavaliers to the finals the first time.
Yeah, in 07.
It was just him. And it was really like he took that team there. As in baseball, you need the whole team to come together because there's 9 players that need to play together. So, and yeah, I can see like in basketball, I think it really depends on your team's success, honestly, like you said. And
Yeah.
we've seen it literally maybe the previous 5 years. Depending on your team's success is who's going to win it.
Because if the Thunder, if they continue to lose, Kawhi Leonard's starting to creep up in the MVP conversation.
I think Kawhi Leonard is the best two-way player in the league.
Yes.
And he's still very young.
Yeah,
so
only 26 years old. So
he's
not even
going to get better.
Yet. He's not even in his prime yet, which is scary. I mean, I hope Russell Westbrook can do it, and he'll like when people have like his Hall of Fame case in the future, they will bring up this season to get to improve his Hall of Fame stock. But we don't really know yet. That's in the road. But that's something he can that's something he can use towards his Hall of Fame discussion.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to be a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah.
I mean, he is a Hall of Fame player. I'm just pretty sure he's going to get that Hall of Fame jacket, Hall of Fame ring, and
But just talking about this season in MVP, right now, if his team continues, because they lost to the Trailblazers twice, the Phoenix Suns, and I believe and the Dallas Mavericks. They got blown out by the Dallas Mavericks. All these clubs are sub 500, and the Phoenix Suns are one of the worst in the Western Conference. And you're losing to these teams now. It's not looking good right now.
At all.
It's not looking good right now at all. And James Harden's team, third seed in the West. Kawhi Leonard, second seed in the West. And then LeBron James, first seed in the East.
I mean, I personally think the MVP race is going to come down between 2 players, and it's going to come down between James Harden and LeBron James. And the reason why I say LeBron James is because he doesn't have the best stats in the world to show he's the best player in the league, but just his playmaking and his
leadership. I mean, he does
leadership,
everything.
durability, IQ makes him the best player in the game. Because honestly, we've seen what's going on with the Cavs, and they're still holding on to the number 1 seed in the East. So I really do think it's going to come down between LeBron and James Harden. I don't think anybody expected this to come out the Rockets.
Yeah, no one did.
Even early in the season, I still didn't believe in them. I still didn't expect it. I just thought it was going to be like a 1 month thing, 2 month thing. That we're going to see the Rockets of what we're prone to see.
Like, if you think about it, when Steve Nash won his back-to-back MVPs, him and Harden were averaging the same amount of assists. Harden is pretty much like a Steve Nash 2.0.
I think he's better than Steve Nash. I think when it's all said and done, he's going to be better than him.
Yeah, where you see Harden's almost averaging 30 a night, and he's averaging 11 assists. Steve Nash averaged 16 and 11. And Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs. And there's a lot of controversy around that, whether he should have gotten only one of those two, because Kobe one year was dropping like 35 points a game.
Yeah.
But that was back in the past. But what I'm trying to say is James Harden is like a Steve Nash times 10, where he can he can score a lot better than Steve Nash can.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just in his game, like, he makes it look so easy. I just don't understand. Like I said, he just makes it look so easy. I don't know any better way to put it.
He has a lot of triple doubles too.
He does. I mean, but he just makes his game look so easy.
Yes, he does. And then he gets all the fouls too.
I don't get it. Like,
Again, I'm gonna say he got my MVP vote when he dropped 51 on the Sixers, and I was just watching him the whole game. It was just three-pointer. Then Embiid couldn't decide whether to block his shot or blocking Nene's. Nene had 20 points because of James Harden and him in the pick and roll.
The pick and roll game it just becomes so effective when you have a player like James Harden, because he can go there. He can just go multiple ways with the ball. He can either pop up, shoot it, or he can just take the basket at the last second, just dish it off. Because again, I'm going to say it again. He makes it look so easy. James,
it's hard. It's just you gotta watch and see, man.
Literally, it's just
must see television.
Yeah, that man right there is just unstoppable in my eyes. I think the only problem that he has is trying to guard somebody.
That's good. That's good because he does get lazy. Just like. Yeah, and that's just like you said, Kawhi Leonard, best two-way player, because we saw Kawhi Leonard just does it on both ends of the floor.
Every single night in and night out, every single night he brings it.
Now, quick topic. This will be a quick topic, then we'll move on to football.
Okay.
Andrew Bogut fractured his tibia for just playing 1 minute with the Cavaliers.
I literally think
How do you feel
58 seconds he played.
Yes, 58 seconds, yes.
58 seconds into his first game with the Cavs, and this is what happens.
People are saying he's like the Tony Romo of the NBA.
I don't know.
How do you feel about it? Like I'm not even gonna lie, when the Cavs got him and Darren Williams, I'm like, now they have pretty much two starting fives. You have your starting five, Kyrie, JR, LeBron, Tristan Thompson,
and Kevin Love.
Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson. Then you have your backup five. You have Darren Williams, Kyle Korver, Iman Shumpert, Andrew Bogut, and then you get some other guy.
Whoever that.
Whoever that.
I think it's Liggins.
Liggins or whatever. You pretty much have two starting fives on your team. Now with Bogut out, I mean, I still think the Cavs are going to come out the East.
I still think they're going to come out the East and still make it to the finals.
Yeah, still make it to the finals.
It doesn't change anything.
I just think that with Bogut, though, they lose a little bit of, their confidence.
I don't think that they lose a little bit of their confidence because, honestly, he didn't have that big of an impact to the team. It was his first game and 58 seconds into the game. But 58, not into the game, but 58 seconds into his playing time.
Yeah.
And this is what happened. So, I don't think he really would have...
He would have been
I don't really think he had that much of an impact in 58 seconds to the team.
He would have been a good rebounder though for a
good come off the
bench.
There's a good role player to come off the bench.
Yeah.
Like you said, a good role player to come off the bench. That's all I think he was really worth. And the reason why I think he's signed with the Cavs is because he wants to get revenge on the Warriors for letting him go.
And I agree. I just wanted to talk about that for a little bit.
Because remember when he got released by them, he went on a little Twitter rant about the Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I mean, after he got traded to the Sixers, after he signed with the Mavericks, he still felt some type of way. And obviously, we waived him, and this is what happened. So I don't want to say it's karma, but I don't know what else to call it.
All right. Now we're gonna move on to our main.
Wait! Before we hit the football topics,
I'm getting ready. I'm excited.
Before we get I'm excited about the football topics too. But what do you think about? Okay, let me ask you this question: who do you think are going to be the top 5 players in the NBA draft?
Top 5?
Top 5 to go get drafted.
Well, Fultz, number 1. Mm-hmm. Even though he has had injuries lately, which is a little bit concerning, but I mean, he'll still go number 1. He's a great talent. Number 2, Lonzo Ball.
Before you go, well, obviously you said it now.
Yeah.
But not Lonzo Ball. Pardon me. Markelle Fultz is. I think he has an attitude problem. There's I think he's a great talent, but
yeah,
I don't think he's just accustomed to losing. And when you can see how the Washington Huskies are. They're not a winning basketball program right now.
Yes.
So I think that definitely takes a toll on his leadership and he just becomes lazy and acts like he doesn't. He's not mature enough yet. Is basically what I'm trying to say. I think yes, he has great talent, but it's not gonna all come together until he matures more and gets older. Obviously, with age comes maturity.
Yeah.
But I believe that they're gonna put so much pressure on this kid. He's just gonna crack eventually.
And I'm not gonna lie, like if he goes to the Celtics, where is he gonna like? The Celtics are pretty much gonna have a situation like the Sixers, where you have a lockjam in guards. So one of them has to go. You have Avery Bradley, you have Isaiah Thomas. Now you're gonna have Fultz, Marcus Smart. One of them has to go. You can't play all four of them.
I mean, I eventually think that two of them. I mean, at least one of them is gonna go. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I think they should keep 3 guards because you're gonna have to bring one off the bench.
Yes.
Whether it's we already know Isaiah Thomas is gonna be a starting point guard, but I think the one's gonna be to go is the most overrated one, which is Marcus Smart.
Oh yeah, and breaking news real quick because I wanted to get with my third, and I said like Josh Jackson, but Josh Jackson has been suspended after his role in a traffic incident. He was part of like an incident off the field. I knew something just happened with him.
Off the field or off the court?
Off the court, my fault. Off the court, my bad. Could way to catch me. But yeah, he got suspended. So now we have another guy.
I still don't think that makes a difference.
Doesn't.
Uh-uh.
And then 4 and 5 are pretty much like a toss-up for me. You can go either way. I mean, if the Sixers are in the top 5, you have Dennis Smith Jr. out of NC State. He's a good point guard, good leader. Again, NC State had they had a down year this year, but I think he's top 5. And if the Sixers find a way to get like around like that 6-7 range, Malik Monk. I'm so excited about him.
Now, you just brought up the topic about Josh Jackson. I don't think that's going to change anything, but I do think that's going to not put him in that top 3 anymore. Who has the number 3 pick in the draft? I'm sorry.
Well, we don't know yet.
We
we
obviously
don't really know
but
yet.
just out of like.
But right now you have
draft.
Right now you have the Nets via the Celtics. So the Celtics right now, if you go by record, Lakers are at 2, then the Suns are 3. And then you have Magic Sixers. But and then the Pelicans are I think behind us. Because the Pelicans they've been losing. Well, they for the Pelicans you gotta give them a year though. They gotta. It's like I said, they gotta get used to them playing.
I think out of the guards that we're naming now, the one who's gonna be a steal is Dennis Smith.
And I hope the Sixers get him.
I hope the Lakers don't fall in the top 3.
I really hope they don't
really
either.
Hope they don't.
But right now,
I would
the
love
Suns
to have 2 picks inside the top 10.
The Suns are making me mad because now the Suns are on a 3-game win streak. They did lose to DC last night, but they were on a 3-game win streak, and now the Lakers are now the 2nd pick now, all because the Suns now want to start winning.
But remember though, it's not like the NFL.
Yeah,
it's all lottery and stuff like that. Pardon me. I think this is all lottery and the balls and the thing. So, I mean, it is what it is.
Do you have a top 5, or do you want to get on to football?
Top 5 players?
Yeah. Well, out of that are coming into this draft.
Sure. Why not?
I mean, I just gave you mine.
Okay. Since we're gonna do top 5 players, I think. Are we gonna go in? Shall I go in order?
No, not in order. Just
bring out the top 5 players I think that are gonna be in the draft. Okay. You want me to do it by talent or by team?
It doesn't really matter to me. You can choose whatever one you want.
I'm gonna go by talent. So by talent, I think it's gonna be Dennis Smith Jr. Malik Monk, Markel, Lonzo Ball, and Josh Jackson.
That's good.
Those are my top 5.
Those are your top 5.
I think Dennis Smith is going to be the biggest steal in that draft.
I hope he does, and I hope he comes to the Sixers.
And I want Malik. I would like to have both players, so that's why I'm praying and hoping the Lakers don't get a top 3 pick. So then that
And-
way, we never know. We might draft both players.
And now all of a sudden, the Dallas Mavericks are winning, and they're just a game and a half out of the 8 seed.
Look at that.
Nerlens Noel has
You
been.
were stressing like
I
what,
wa-
2,
I
3
wa-
weeks ago?
I was stressing because I was so frustrated with that trade.
Told you
initially.
they have the team to make the playoffs. They just have to come together and win. That's
And
the only
Nerlens
thing they have
Noel
to
has
do.
been Nerlens Noel out of the, I believe, 6 games they played. Nerlens Noel's had a double-double in 5 of those. So Nerlens Noel has been a great acquisition for the Dallas Mavericks. So I mean, right? If we end up getting their pick, I mean, hey, I'm gonna be excited. But anything you want to talk about with basketball, or do you want to move on?
I think it's time to move on.
I think it's time to move on.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Here comes the topic of the day.
Woo!
Brandon Marshall.
Brandon Marshall. I'll let you say it.
Let me say, all right.
I apologize.
My
I'll let
fault.
you say it.
I'm a little
I'm
excited.
a little excited about this too.
Brandon Marshall,
Uh-huh.
just in today,
Mm-hmm.
signed a 2-year, $12 million deal with the New York Giants. Oh, man, as an Eagles fan, I am now,
I'm worried.
I'm worried.
Very, very worried. I
'Cause
think
now you
it's time
got-
for us to now make a move.
yes,
I think it's time. See,
the pressure's on. And they only got him for $12 million. Brandon Marshall.
that's a steal.
That is a steal.
That's a steal. A player with his type of caliber, his talent, it's a steal. It literally is a steal. And the reason why the reason why I heard the reason why he stayed and signed that deal with the Giants is because he didn't want to move his family out of New York. And remember, he does have that TV contract.
Yeah.
I think that's the reason why he stayed. Well, to sign with the Giants, so he could stay in
Yes.
New York. Pardon me
I
again.
agree.
I'm sorry, but
And yeah,
I think this puts a ton of pressure.
on Eli Manning.
Not even Eli Manning. I think for Eli Manning, honestly, to the fantasy football player, people that are crazily insane with fantasy
Yes.
football, Eli Manning is. I'm gonna have him as my QB1. I would take Eli Manning, maybe in the 6th, 7th round of fantasy football. But that's just going off topic. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
it's going
But
off.
I think this puts a lot of pressure on the Eagles. I think it's time for them to make a move as soon as possible, because now, look at the rest of the teams in the NFC East. We have the Giants. Not only do you have to worry about Odell Beckham, now you have to worry about Brandon Marshall and Sterling Shepard.
Yeah,
That's coming from the Giants.
because I mean Victor Cruz was a great receiver, but he was coming off of an injury. But now
Yeah,
you got
Victor Cruz is going to be the same receiver. As
yes,
he
he's not
once
going to be the
was.
same. This guy right now is big time.
Okay.
Him and Odell Beckham. My fault. They both.
Are
They
you
both.
talking about Brandon Marshall or Sterling Shepard?
No, I'm saying this is how great the receiving core is. Brandon Marshall and Odell Beckham have had multiple seasons of over 100 receptions.
Uh-huh.
They're the only tandem now in the NFL that has that. Has 2 wide receivers that had multiple seasons with over 100 receptions.
Mm-hmm.
That's very scary and very impressive.
Now, you want my honest opinion?
Yes.
I think with this signing for the Giants, not only is it great for the team in general, I think this is great for Odell Beckham Jr.
Yeah, now there's less pressure on him.
I'm not even talking with the pressure. I think with this signing, he matures. Because, I don't know if you can remember, go back that much in time. Brandon Marshall had his, own problems in the league, too. Like,
Yes.
he was a problem child coming into the league, too. Like, he was not really, it took time for him to mature as a player. And I think with Brandon Marshall being there to help him and help him grow as a player and as a person, it's going to take Odell Beckham to that next tier of players, of wide receivers in the league. I think now is going to be, you can definitely argue and have a very, very legitimate argument about whether he's the best receiver in the league, better than Antonio Brown and better than Julio Jones. I think with that, it puts him up there. And I think this is also great for Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, he's a young guy. Now he has a veteran presence.
I don't even think it's about that. I think it's about him playing his time on the field, because now when teams are going to play the Giants, they're going to think, okay, well, now we have to guard not only Odell, but now we have to guard Brandon Marshall, which is really going to leave one-on-one with Sterling Shepard. And I think Sterling Shepard, with his talent and his potential, he is another one that's going to fall in that line of great wide receivers that come for the Giants. Because remember, they had Plexico.
Yes.
Then they had Victor, Odell. Now you sign Brandon Marshall. Last year you drafted Sterling Shepard. But let me get back to what I was saying. I think this is going to put a lot of pressure for the Eagles now to definitely go out and sign a quarterback. I mean, just to get a cornerback in general. I think that it's time for them to pull the trigger. The reason why I'm so scared about everything is because, yes, they're in negotiation. Well, I don't even know if they're in negotiation, but there is sources and rumors saying that there's a good chance AJ Boye, I don't even know how to say his name correctly, right, can't come to Philly. But you remember the last two times we signed these cornerbacks to deals that AJ Boye is getting similar to, maybe a little bit less, but we've seen how they turned out. We've seen how they planned out. So that's the reason I'm so stressed out about this. And I think that it's, now with that, we have to definitely get a legitimate wide receiver now, because we're gonna have to draft a corner in the draft. Either it's one or two. We have to draft one, because now look at the NFC East now. You got Brandon Marshall, Odell Beckham, Des Bryant, Jamison Crowder literally just came onto the scene last year.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott, if you want to throw him in there.
That man's a beast.
So you literally, it's time to get these corners.
The only thing that's good with the NFC East right now is the Redskins don't know what they're gonna do with Kirk Cousins.
And if I'm the Redskins, I keep Kirk Cousins.
I would keep him too. I mean, that's what their fans are saying too. Keep him. He's led you to the playoffs 2 years now.
No, he didn't go to the playoffs last year.
No, they won the NFC East twice, right? They won with Alfred Morris. Oh, no, that was Robert Griffin.
That was
Robert Griffin. My fault. He's led you to the playoffs. This year, it came down to the final game. If they would have won, they would have been in. Mm-hmm. But they lost. And, I mean, Kirk Cousins has proven that he just set can start in his league.
The record for the Washington Redskins by most yards thrown in a single season?
Something like that. Yeah, he's a good quarterback. I don't know why the Redskins are fooling around with this guy.
The reason why I think the Redskins are doing this to him is because he didn't lead them to the playoffs last year, honestly. I feel like if he would have led them to the playoffs last year, they would have definitely signed him to a good deal. I think he would have got a good contract. The reason why I say that is because the reason why I think they're doing this to him is because of the Redskins' defense. Mm-hmm. The Redskins really they had a good defense, but there's been times when they've gotten exposed and stuff like that. So I think just because of the defense, you want to take it on in your quarterback. He just set a record, and he led you to the playoffs 1 year. Year after that, he sets. I'm pretty sure it was the most passing yards in a single season as a Redskin quarterback. What more do you want? He can't play both sides of the ball.
I know it's not his fault that the defense is bad.
So why? You're taking that on this man right here, and now there's rumors that you want to trade him. Why? If you trade him, you're gonna have to start right back to square one.
Now, going back to the topic, with this Brandon Marshall signing, do you think the Giants are the NFC East favorites now?
It's a really good question.
Because their defense, we've seen their defense is legit. Mm-hmm. And with Vernon, and you got Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie, Eli Apple. They have some big name players now on their defense.
You want my honest opinion?
Yeah.
I think they're Super Bowl contenders.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I think now it's yes. I think the reason. Okay, how can I sum this up? It's gonna depend on Eli Manning, because week in and week out we don't know.
He turns the ball.
Don't know what Eli Manning.
It's gonna come down to him.
So now I think it's really up to him. I don't think the pressure's on him. I just think it's up to him to decide whether they're gonna go to the playoffs or not. But I definitely do think I definitely think they have the
They have
talent, they
the
have everything
pieces.
there for them to win the NFC East. They're just maybe missing a couple patches on the line, and a running back. You don't need the greatest running. You don't need the greatest running
I mean,
back.
and there's running backs in this draft that they can get.
You can go in the free agency
Yes.
and get a running back, or you can go into the draft and get one.
Because they freed up, they got rid of Victor Cruz and they got rid of Rashad Jennings to clear cap space, and
So
and you
that
get
literally, I
Brandon
think that was
Marshall.
literally $13 million right there.
Yeah, and you,
Because
yeah,
Victor Cruz was 9. I think Rashard Matthews was 4.
Jennings.
I mean, I'm sorry, Rashard Jennings. I apologize.
Yeah, you're good. And I mean, you get Brandon Marshall for only $12 million. That's cheap. It's only $6 million each year. So now you still have enough money now to get one more person.
Hmm.
And this year you can, if they get Delvin Cook or they get a good running back out of the first round, like Fournette or something.
I think where they draft. I think where they're listed in the draft. I don't think they can.
They're either gonna get them.
I don't think Dalvin Cook will fall that far into the draft. But I definitely do think, though. I know I said this last week. I would like in my mock draft the Eagles. I would take Cam Robinson, my number 1 pick.
Yeah,
But it's just a mock draft. You know,
I know.
it's nothing legit. It's nothing that's gonna really happen. But I mean, if the Giants can, he's still there. Why not take him? You need help in the line, and you can definitely sign a running back in the free agency. Or you could just draft one.
That is true, and I'm not gonna lie. I agree with you, Dante. I think the Giants are now Super Bowl contenders because what we've seen from their defense last year, even though at times they did get rattled a little bit, but they were consistent. It was actually the offense that was hurting them at the end. Like people thought coming into the year, oh, their defense is a little bit iffy, and their offense is going to be high powered. It was actually the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
Their offense was just there was no flow. I
Right.
mean, they had their moments, but when it mattered most, their offense was a no-show.
Mm-hmm.
And now with getting Brandon Marshall, it comes down to what can Eli Manning do. If he does not turn the
I
ball
think it's
over,
all in Eli Manning's hands.
if he doesn't turn the ball over 16 times like he did last year, or this 16 picks he had, and has a good season, I think the Giants will be right in there for the NFC East division crown and right in there for the Super Bowl. And as an Eagles fan, it makes me sick to say it, but I mean, the Giants and Cowboys right now are just a couple steps ahead of us right now. We can get to what they are, but as of today,
though,
they're a little bit ahead of us.
honestly, though, I honestly think that in this free agency and in the draft, the Eagles can make noise coming
yeah, we
out of
can
the
make
division.
noise. But I'm just talking about as of today. Today, March
of right
8th.
now.
March 8th,
Yes, the front runners are going to be
2017.
the Cowboys and the Giants.
It's the Cowboys and Giants division right now, and then the Eagles and Redskins are like that third, fourth team right now. As of right now, March 8th. But we still have time. We have the draft to come up. We have free agency right now. We can make a splash. But the thing is, don't go for the home runs. Don't go for that home run as we've seen. Like we've done it with Asamoah. We've done it with Byron Maxwell. We've done it with all these guys, and all they've done is hurt us at the end. Wasted our money, time,
Literally.
and effort.
Literally.
We had Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie too.
We did.
We had him.
We did. I thought he was pretty solid when he was with us.
We got rid of him. Now he's with the Giants. Excellent with the Giants.
I think he was pretty solid with the Eagles, I believe.
But now one last topic about the NFC East.
Not literally the last topic with the NFC East. It's just breaking news coming out of the NFC East again. Tony Romo will be released tomorrow. Will be released tomorrow.
Which is smart. Remember, I believe
I think this is the smartest thing the Cowboys are going to do. He was scheduled to get $23 million this year.
Yes.
So that saves you $23 million.
And
They can go literally all defense and strengthen up that defense.
But bro, real quick. I remember back a while ago, we talked about whether Tony Romo should get traded, and I was like, why trade him if you know the Cowboys are going to release him in the offseason? And now, all those teams that want him were smart for not trading him because you would have given up probably like a draft pick for a guy that is going to become a free agent anyway. So that was smart by the other NFL teams. Now, I want you to go first on this question. Where do you think is the best fit for Tony Romo to go?
I think there's a couple good fits for him to go to. Um, there's three teams that really pop out the mind when I say that. You can either go the Broncos, the Texans, and the Chiefs. Legitimately chance, I believe that he can go to and definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna say definitely, but his highest chance there to get a ring is the Denver Broncos. They do have that elite defense with two great receivers in Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders.
Yeah, they are elite. They just get a bad rap because of the past 2 years they've had an old Peyton Manning.
And still won the Super Bowl.
Yeah, still won a Super Bowl, and they had a young Trevor Siemian.
Yeah, so I mean, he can either go there or definitely, I think where he can make noise is with the Texans. I mean, I'm not gonna say he can.
Stay in
I really
Texas.
do think he can make noise with the Chiefs too, but I just don't think that they're fully there to make it to the Super Bowl. I just believe that the Chiefs are a couple players away from definitely being there if Tony Romo was to go there. I think that Jeremy Maclin by himself can't do it.
They have Tyreek Hill too, though. Tyreek Hill has emerged as a good star.
He has. But I mean,
It's just all him though. That's what
I mean. But honestly though, would you take the wide receiver tandem of Tyreek Hill and Jeremy Maclin, or would you take Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders?
I agree with you. I'm just telling you how the Chiefs are.
Yeah.
Jeremy Maclin is a free agent this year too.
He's a free agent.
So there's no chances of him. That's why the Eagles are trying to say, let's have a reunion, let's bring all the boys back. Because they're talking about McCoy being released, but I think he's going to stay. Because
I don't think he's going anywhere.
He has a couple more years left in his deal, and the Bills are talking about reconstructing Tyrod Taylor's contract. So he's probably going to stay. Jackson's a free agent, and then Macklin's a free agent too.
Yeah, but where do you think Jackson's going to go? Speaking of Jackson.
It all depends on what the Redskins do, because Pierre Garçon, I believe
he's about to get overpaid by the 49ers.
Yeah, he's gonna get signed by the 49ers.
$16 million a year.
That is a little too much.
He's getting way overpaid.
But if the Redskins can give Kirk Cousins a deal, pay this man, I think he'll stay. Him along with Jay Crowder, and then Kirk. He likes playing with Kirk Cousins though.
Yeah, but I don't think he will. Honestly, think.
And if he goes, he wants to go on a contender.
Yeah, but I mean,
that's what he
teams
said.
That when you say contender, who pops up the mind for you?
Patriots.
See, the reason why I can't see him go to the Patriots is because he's gonna want 10 to 12 million.
Yeah,
he's 31 years old, and Bill Belichick isn't doing that.
True.
So I think there's only 3 teams that he can play for, and there's a legitimate chance of him, 1, receiving that money, and 2, making it to the playoffs. I think the 3 teams that I'm going to name aren't Super Bowl contenders. Well, maybe one of them, yes, maybe one of them. But the Bucks is one team that I'm going to name. Re-signing with the Redskins or Dallas. Because he has been linked to Dallas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, those are just 3 teams that are out there. But I definitely have a feeling he's going to sign with the Bucks.
The Bucks?
I think he's going to have a feeling.
I mean, that would be a good place to be at. You have Jameis Winston, him, like Evans.
Mm-hmm.
They have something going good there. Their defensive line reminds me of the Eagles' defensive line. I don't know why. When I watch the Bucks play, their line is the same as us. They come out, they penetrate really well.
So
and when they're hot, they're hot.
Yeah.
But when they're cold, they're cold.
So, speaking of the Eagles, what? Oh my! I think that there's so many ways I believe the Eagles can go and just rebuild the team in one.
There's a lot of
season.
ways.
I definitely believe that. Now, I did get criticized about our last show.
Why? What'd you get criticized about?
I was told that I was literally everywhere with, my thoughts. So I guess it's time for me to clear this up.
Clear it up, bro.
Yes, I would love Brandon Cooks to come to Philly. Okay? And I truly believe now he's going to come to Philly. It's just a matter of what are we going to give up now?
Gotta give up a first round pick.
See? But now there's also, reports saying that they want a defensive presence, a defensive pass rusher, or somebody that's going to get to the quarterback. Now, to be clear,
They're not going to want Connor Barwin. I can tell you that from the beginning.
What makes you so sure of that?
I mean, isn't he in his in his early 30s?
He just turned 30.
I mean,
You can get.
I'm like.
Bro, with
my
defensive
personal
ends,
opinion,
with defensive ends, you can they last to about 34.
I hope Connor Barwin. I hope they accept the trade.
So I
personally
think that
my fault. Me personally, I do not like Connor Barwin.
Mm-hmm.
He had one good year with Chip Kelly. That was it. And I'm not a big fan of him. But if he goes to the Saints for Brandon Cooks, I'll be jumping up with joy. Okay. I'm not a fan of Connor Barwin. That's just my personal opinion.
I definitely like Connor Barwin, but I think there has to be a defense that fits him. But what I'm trying to be clear about is, yes, if worst case scenario, well, not worst case scenario, but if we really had to, I would trade our first round pick for him. But if I'm trying to be Howard Roseman, I would try and work my way around giving up the first round pick. Because, I mean, if we can get Brandon Cooks signed, I wouldn't even mind if we got Brandon Cooks with Kenny Britt opposite of him. Kenny Britt just had 1,000 yards.
Yeah, he's low key.
Literally had
does not get credit for anything.
2-3 other quarterbacks throwing him the ball, and reached the mark with Jared Goff being his quarterback. And potentially, I literally think Carson Wentz is going to be 10 times better than Jared Goff. And that just fulfills the big body presence. Or we can go to Rob Pryor, opposite of Brandon Cooks. But like I said, though, I would try and talk my way out of giving that first round pick. I wouldn't mind giving a second round pick.
We do have 2 fourth round picks too.
Yeah, but I would try and keep those. A second round pick with Connor Barwin, Michael Kendricks, and just to put the cherry on top, take a 2018 or whatever, like a fifth or fourth for the future, just to put the icing on the cake.
Now the only thing is, you give them any players, there's like more rules to a trade than just like players, stuff like that. Like there's like money and all that stuff.
Yeah, but honestly though, us giving up those 2 players, you're literally getting money back in return.
And I'm just saying, for like the Saints and their cap room.
I think, don't the Saints have money? I'm pretty sure they have money.
I know. I'm just saying that's just like the part of the trade. Like, I mean, that trade sounds good, but it would probably be something similar to that. Probably like 2 picks and like Connor Barwin for Brandon Cooks. It all depends on how their cap room is.
But I'm just trying to clarify myself.
I know, that's good.
So the person who criticized me, I'm here to clear that up. And personally,
constructive criticism.
Yeah. Personally, though, I wouldn't try. Like I said, I wouldn't want to give up the first, but if we had to, I will, for sure, because I believe he's worth it. Reports go, the Saints turned down the Patriots offer and the Titans offer, so really, and the last team that was in talks with the Saints, yeah, for getting Brandon Cooks, so where are the Eagles? And that's the last team standing.
It's just all a waiting game now. We just got to wait and see. I mean, if we get Brandon Cooks and don't give up our first round pick, I'll be happy.
Yeah, and I honestly think, though, if that was to happen, our first round pick, we have to go cornerback.
Yeah.
Have to.
And that's perfectly fine. I'll be happy.
Have to. Now, I did say that I believe the Eagles can turn around the whole program in a year. And I believe it's possible, but you just got to draft well and make the right moves.
I mean, you see it from the Patriots year after year. They're always picked either 31st or 30th, like around that area. They're always one of the bottom teams. And like with the Flakegate, they haven't even had a first round pick in a couple years now. And
So
you see them just get undrafted players. Like they got Chris Hogan undrafted, Deion Lewis undrafted. He was with the Eagles. Like they find a way. Whatever team's junk is their treasure. That isn't there a saying, one man's junk is another man's treasure.
yeah,
That's like the Patriots philosophy. Teams dump out like they're like, oh yeah, he's terrible. Patriots pick him up, put him in the system, and now all of a sudden, who are these guys? Who's Edelman? Who's Hogan? Who's Mitchell? Or like
Malcolm Mitchell.
Malcolm Mitchell? Like that's what I'm saying. And that's what the Patriots do, and they do it well, and that's why they are right now one of the best organizations in football.
Yeah, but honestly though, I personally think, and I'm just gonna say it, just to talk, I would definitely try and sign AJ Boye. I don't. His last name is so hard to say. It's just weird to say. So, forgive me, for our listeners. AJ Boye. I would definitely try to sign him. Get the trade for Brandon Cooks, and sign either Kenny Britt or Terrell Pryor. Can't go wrong with either one. Both of them are going to be big, solid receivers. Definitely a red zone threat. If that happens, I believe you release Dorial Green Beckham. We give Jordan Matthews that this year to see what he can do. I wouldn't mind trading him, but it'll be a trade. I don't think it's worth much, but if it's something good that we come across, hey, why not? Definitely try to get rid of Connor Barwin and free up some money.
And I apologize to all the Connor Barwin fans that are listening. Me personally, I'm not a fan of him. I never really was a fan of him, even when he had a good year. I say good players do it consistently. They don't have just one breakout year. And that was the only year he's really done something. I've watched him all this past year. Only had, I believe, 2 sacks the whole year. Disappointment.
Five.
Five?
He had 5. Mm-hmm.
He had 5?
Yeah, he had 5.
Every time I saw him, he would always get blocked, pushed around, and I'm just not a fan of him personally. That's just my opinion.
Which is cool, Everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
Yes.
But I definitely think the Eagles can turn this around in 1 year.
I don't know about 1 year. We can, just like you said, we can, but we got to have perfect move after perfect move, move. Where everyone's human, they make mistakes. So I just think we're a couple years away.
Maybe 2 the most.
3 years to becoming something special. And we saw last year, like, we were close in all those games. But the problem is that was last year. And there's a reason why we couldn't close out those games. We ended up going 1-6 in games decided by 7 points or fewer.
Uh-huh.
And it's just going to take some time to get to that level.
Honestly, Josh, one thing that always, we hear that, the Eagles, what people and, analysis, NFL analysis and old Eagle greats are trying to do is compare this to the Donovan McNabb and Andy Reid thing. The difference was we only had a wide receiver 1 for 2 years, which was Terrell Owens. And the second year, Terrell Owens decided to go crazy and didn't play. And you can tell the 1 year we had a valuable tier 1 wide receiver, we made it to the Super Bowl. We didn't win, but we made it.
Should have won.
We should have. But, look. So, if we're all going to compare that, we need to get a solid wide receiver. And Brandon Cooks and Terrell Pryor are just what or Kenny Britt or any of those 2 players that, if we were to get the trade for Brandon Cooks and those 2 players to line up opposite of him are perfectly what we need and can get us over that hump.
Yeah, I know.
So, it drives me crazy when they want to compare the 2, but everybody tends to forget when Terrell Owens wasn't there, we didn't have good wide receivers. They were good, but they weren't tier 1 next level wide receivers. That it just drives me crazy. Because they always tend to forget that. And when they talk about that, they talk about Brian Westbrook. Then they want to go defensive with
Brian Dawkins.
Who else?
One of
Lito Shepherd.
one of my favorite players
Jeremiah Trotter.
was Jeremiah Trotter. That was one of my favorite players.
Yeah, so it just drives me crazy. And then they give a whole lot of and Donovan McNabb. Let me not forget about Donovan McNabb. But the thing that drives me crazy is you talk about those players, but when they were there, they didn't go anywhere until they got a good wide receiver in Terrell Owens. It just drives me crazy. Like, why can't Terrell Owens get the credit that I think he deserves for that 1 year that really took that we went to the Super Bowl that 1 year? And I think that if you're trying to compare the two, hit the main fact that we need a wide receiver and a cornerback. Hit those two facts. They talk about everything else except for that. And it drives me crazy.
Just focus on one thing at a time. Pretty much. Just like how, because we have a lot of needs, because with Peters, lineman, we need a pass rusher.
I mean, honestly,
we need
yes,
a linebacker because Michael Kendrick isn't kicking it.
Honestly, yes.
But just focus on one thing at a time. Like free agency, I'm going to focus on this one need.
Mm-hmm.
The draft, I'm going to focus on, because with the draft, you have 7 rounds. You can do 1 or 2 in the draft. Go young. I want to see our team go young and on certain positions because youth is very important. Youth mixed with veterans, that's the perfect combination.
Yeah, so definitely like to see us go young.
But again, after hearing the Giants news about Brandon Marshall,
it's definitely time to go. We need to sign a corner.
We need to do something, pretty much,
to stay in these type of games, or to stay in the division.
And again, I remember people were laughing at the NFC East, calling it the NFC least and stuff like that. But now if the Eagles make some noise,
it went from least to beast.
We can probably be the best division in football.
Honestly, I think
Cowboys,
I
Giants,
think the NFC
and the
East
Eagles
is the best division in football.
And we can prove it this year because in the schedule, we play the AFC West teams this year. The Eagles travel to Kansas City, and we travel
breaking
to
news,
LA.
The Dolphins do re-sign wide receiver Kenny Stills.
Dang, so we're not going to get... Kenny
I
Stills.
never wanted Kenny Stills from the beginning.
He was like my last resort. If we can't get anything, get him.
He wanted so much money, but his level of production was not going to meet that money. It was not going to meet it at all. He wanted 10 to 12. He wasn't. His production is not going to be $10 to $12 million receiver. I'm sorry, but it wasn't.
Yep. And anything else you want to talk about, or is that pretty much it?
That's pretty much
nailed
it.
everything.
Ready to wrap it up?
Yeah, I'll wrap it up.
This is I'll let you finish that.
I got you.
Signature.
Thank you guys for watching or for listening. My fault. To Josh and Dante's podcast. Like, subscribe, show friends, family. It is only the start to something big. We got 26 cents in revenue.
You have to divide that up.
You got to divide that up. I don't even know how like the money's gonna come. I just looked at the YouTube channel and it said revenue total 26 cents. I was like we got 26 cents of revenue. I'm like, where's the money going? When are we getting the money? Like, what's up?
Like, are you? I don't know. We're gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll
somehow.
figure it out.
Maybe we'll get a check in the mail.
But yeah, like, subscribe, show friends, family. This is only the start of something big.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram,
Twitter.
and Twitter. Sorry,
At
Instagram,
Josh and
Twitter,
Dante.
Josh and Dante, and don't forget that hit that subscribe button when you go to watch this.
Hit that subscribe button.
Mm-hmm.
And this is Josh and Dante signing off.
Swoop.
Swoop.